Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Heather and here I do home projects, crafting on a budget, a lot of Dollar Tree crafts and other DIYs. Thank you for joining me and let's get started. I've got 3 Christmas crafts to do today. The first one is going to use this calendar, the 2022 calendar from Dollar Tree. And we're going to be using this last page, which is the December calendar picture. I'm also going to be using this Gnome for the Holidays big ornament sign from Dollar Tree. I'm going to start out with putting it on top of the Christmas page and tracing around it, trying to get it where the words fit on there. It's not going to cover the whole thing exactly. The top doesn't matter so much because that ornament silver part that we took off is going to go back on. So that will cover the majority of that. And then we'll have something else that's going to also cover the bottom. So after we get that done, you can either glue it to the top side or the underneath side of the ornament. I did the back side because I just thought, well, if I ever want to use the front, that way I can. I'm going to put a decent amount of Mod Podge on the surface here. The calendar paper is not very heavy. It's kind of flimsy, so you don't want to get too much on that it's hard to smooth the calendar page. So I'm just centering it on, making sure that the edges have the glue so they get stuck down. And I did end up having some creases with it, and a lot of them, as the glue dries, it kind of pulls them out. But I end up putting a little bit of a finish on this, and it really didn't show up too much since I got it done. So you might have a little bit of some wrinkling in the paper. Now I'm just taking my small utility knife and I'm going around the edges and getting any of the paper that overextended on the edges. And I'm going to take the silver part of the ornament and use hot glue to put it back on. You want to be careful because that does make the metal hot. And then I was trying to decide which rope I wanted to use. And I looked at both of them the Dollar Tree has, and I decided to go with this darker one. So I just started at the bottom because that's down there where that brown is from the ornament. We want to cover that. So I started down there. And then I just went around and I did use super glue and hot glue to get the rope glued down. And you can see it covers a lot of that brown that was at the bottom. I did take a little white paint pen and color in white the little bit that still showed after I got the nautical rope. So under the trees there, where there's some of the wood showing, you just want to use a paint marker or something white to fill that in if there's any that you can still see after you get the rope glued down. So after that, I'm taking a brush and my distress ink. I'm using frayed burlap, which is by Tim Holtz. And I'm going around the edges, just trying to make it look a little more worn and antique-like. Mostly just went around the trees and the words and a little around the edges. And then I'm going to put a layer of Mod Podge over the top. And this is going to help seal it so it stays in good shape. And while that's drying, I'm going to make a bow to put on. I'm going to fold this 6 times onto itself, and I'll fold it in half and make a little notch on each side so that I can wrap a piece of twine, or you can use a pipe cleaner, and I'll just wrap it and tie tight so that it holds it all together. And then I can start fluffing out my bow. There'll be 3 like hoops on each side. So I'm just going to keep moving them around. And I will dovetail the 2 ends because they'll show also. And when I got it where it's a good shape, I'll go ahead and use some hot glue and glue it down. And we'll just keep fluffing until it looks how I like. And then I'm going to put some of these little pine cones from the Dollar Tree onto the middle of the bow, just to kind of finish it off. I just love this bow, this ribbon I got at the Dollar Tree. It really brought in the red from the word Christmas, and the burlap and the nautical rope go well together. And then I remembered that I had some Mod Podge that had glitter in it, and it looks like snow. So I was just going to put it on the trees, but I decided to put it over the whole thing, and it turned out really neat. You're not going to be able to see it very well in the pictures, but it really added a nice finish to it. The next craft that we're going to do is a Santa sign, and it's going to be a really easy one that anybody can do. I got this Santa sign from Dollar Tree, and also this buffalo check or black plaid or gingham plate from Dollar Tree. And I know not all of them have them, but you can also use a pizza pan if you need to, and you can use scrapbook paper or wrapping paper for the back if you want. Anything round and larger, or if you've just got a round wooden piece of wood, that would work as well. And all I did was glue on the Santa head. It's a little off center on purpose because I want him to kind of be leaning to the one side. And then I took a couple of these Dollar Tree florals, and I'm just going to put some glue on them and stick them inside right under the beard. And you can use more floral if you want. I used more of a woodland kind of look. There's some with little berries. There's some with pine cones. There's some just with like some foliage. I just thought it would look cute having that little bit of red to go with Santa's hat. I'd like to take this time to remind you that if you are interested in subscribing so that you don't miss any of my videos, hit the subscribe button and then the bell, and the little bell will bring up a notification schedule, and you can get it to post to let you know every time I post a video. So if you're interested in that, that would really help my channel. So as you can see, I just keep adding till I get it how I want. And that's really all we're going to do for this craft, other than add a hanger to the back. So I decided to use some of this red ribbon. And you guys, I get this ribbon. It's very thin, but I got it for 49 cents a roll and at Walmart. And they have so many of these narrower ribbons for 49 to 79 cents a roll for the simple ones. So I'm just making a loop out. I took 2 pieces, together so it'd make it a little sturdier. And I'm hot gluing it down. And just making sure I have a good amount of hot glue on both of the, or all of the pieces of the red ribbon. So I'm going to put on a little more to kind of make a bridge over it. And I'll cut off the tails. And then I'm going to take a little bit of ribbon. I'm just going to cut it off, the ribbon like I was using on the front of the last project. And I'm just going to glue it on top to give it a little bit of an extra hold and to make it look a little nicer on the back. Put a little more glue on that other side. And that's all there is to this one. It's especially easy if you can find this buffalo check plate. But like I said, you could use a pizza pan or a round piece of wood too. So make it your own, and it's still going to be an easy craft that anybody can do. The last craft I have to do today is going to be these adorable Santa cookie trays, and I decided to make them for my grandkids. So I'm going to make two, one for each household. I'm going to make these one bright green and one bright red. So I got these little trays at Dollar Tree, and each one's a little different. They have a different cutout for the handles. So they might have some different styles at your Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just using apple barrel paint and giving everything a good coat. And I was using my hot air gun to help dry them in between coats, because I did do 2 coats on both trays, and I did the back and sides and top and everything. And then I found a little Cookies for Santa graphic, and I used that with my Cricut to print out a little saying that I'm going to put on the bottom of each one. So here I'm just taking my Cricut tools here and weeding out the parts that I don't want to put on the tray. And then I'm taking some clear transfer tape, and that will help me pull off just what I want to go on the tray and transfer it from the paper onto the tray. If you don't have a Cricut or a cutting machine, you can use a big sticker, or you can draw something. You could even print out a graphic of Santa Claus, or use an old card, cut apart like a card that might have a Santa image or something on it. And you can use Mod Podge to put that on the bottom of the tray. So you can use your imagination. Come up with something cute, even if you don't have a cutting machine. So I'm just going ahead now and transferring that onto the trays. Sorry about my dog barking off and on here. He's hearing somebody outside. Silly boy. He has to protect me though, you know. So here we have both trays with the words transferred. And then pulling out some more of this ribbon. I've got a green and a red, and I've got these white snowflakes from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to tie them onto one side with the handle. I thought it would just add a little something else neat to it and make it a little fancier. So I just took these plastic snowflakes from Dollar Tree and just tied them on. That way if the kids untie them, it's not going to hurt anything. They're not breakable or anything like that. And the only other thing I did is I did Mod Podge the bottoms so that it seals the paint and also the graphic. I just think they look adorable and the kids are going to love them. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. And I look forward to seeing you here next time. Bye.